Up until recently, I didn't like to start shows in the middle of their run, but last year one of my screenwriting partners was really raving about The Bear, so I checked it out a couple months before season 3 released and thought it was really great. I loved how it threw you right into the deep end of its chaotic energy before gradually developing the ensemble, who I became really attached to. I think I preferred the first series overall, but 2 featured some absolutely wonderful episodes highlighting specific characters, and I was absolutely enthralled by the finale. So I quickly became very excited for the 3rd season to release, and even planned to make a video review on it, but I ultimately decided not to because it was a to be continued and thought it'd be better to wait for those plotlines to conclude. But I also felt like I was just gonna repeat a lot of what others were already saying, so there wasn't much point. So yeah, needless to say, I found Series 3 to be a disappointment. Although not without its high points, it regressed many of the characters, took a long time to not really go anywhere, and it began to indulge in some of the comedy and its style a bit too much. I mean, the whole scene in the last episode where it's just the random chefs talking about their experiences for a good 5 minutes was so unbelievably self-indulgent, I hated watching it. Well, I've never thought seeing how the rest of the story would unfold would excuse Season 3 for generally being an unsatisfying standalone season of television. I've still been looking forward to the follow-up in the hopes it manages to pick things back up and offer some satisfying payoffs. Yeah. I'm not opposed to a slow meandering pace, but it's weird for a show that likes to repeat the mantra of every second counts to continually spin its wheels. And that's simply not the show I fell in love with. The relentless energy isn't really there anymore, and despite the ticking clock element a la Season 2, this season was rarely tense. It just kinda hops from scene to scene, still dragging things out like Sydney considering the other job, which winds up getting a pretty muted payoff. Definitely not worth waiting a year to see resolved. But speaking of Sydney, I did really enjoy the 4th episode focused on her. It was cute, entertaining, and expanded on her doubts about staying or leaving the bear in an interesting way. It was probably the highlight of the whole season for me. And continuing with the positives, this year has been very tough for me in regards to my filmmaking and screenwriting pursuits, so some of Kami's struggles did resonate. The "it's okay not to love it anymore" line particularly hit hard. The comedy got toned down sort of. There's plenty of enjoyable scenes with some of the other side characters, it's still wonderfully acted, the quality of the production remains high, it's just a lot of the writing and storytelling that frustrates me. Episode 5 was close to being the breaking point for me. That random montage of Kami looking around a house, then the return of a character being treated like a Marvel reveal, this show has gotten too in love with itself, and going forward from there, I did find myself bored at times. I thought the wedding episode was fine, there are 2 very compelling back-to-back conversations in it, but it didn't need to be 70 minutes, which to be fair, hot take, I also think about the Christmas episode. The whole bit with the world's biggest table was cute until it kept going and going, and I've not seen anyone else mention this, but it's really strange that Marcus is contrived to be at the wedding, then doesn't actually do anything of note for the entire episode. Now it's just been announced there's going to be a 5th season, and as bold a swing as it would have been to end the whole show with a bottle episode featuring only a couple characters, it probably would have been unsatisfying. I do think the big development that unfolds at the very end is interesting, and had there been better build up across the season, I probably would have been super invested in it. As is, unless there is some substantial improvements, I'm on the fence about whether or not I'll watch Season 5. I mean, okay, it's probably sounding like I hated this season, but if I did, I wouldn't have finished it. It held my attention, which counts for something, but the goodwill I went into the 3rd season with has gone by now. It's interesting that there's a whole plot thread about how the beef part of the restaurant is continuing to thrive while the bear struggles, almost as if the show is aware it used to be a lot better. Well, there you go. It occupied the time for sure, but hey, hopefully you got a lot more out of it than I did. And whatever you thought, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!